So about a year ago, we were in Yosemite hiking the Mist Trail, and we were sitting at the top of Nevada Falls, and Amy started a conversation with a backpacking group that was just about to finish a northbound trip on the JMT. And after that conversation, she turned to me and was like, maybe someday we could do that. And about a year later, here we are.
What do you think of the first part of the trail we're starting?
Oh, that was easy. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Dad, what do you think of the
What do you
start of our
think of
trail?
Oh, well, I think it's a lot of work. I'm already tired.
We are at the Cottonwood Pass trailhead. The drive was paved the whole way. It's actually a really cool drive. My parents drove up here with us in a separate car, and they got to see the beginning of the trail, which was cool to have their support, and I'm sure they were excited to see where they're sending us off from. We are gonna sleep right here tonight and wake up in the morning and start the JMT, or start the trail. We won't be on the JMT for another couple days or so. I had planned to go from Cottonwood Pass to Happy Isles in Yosemite, which is about 235, 240 miles, and I was hoping that we would be able to do it in about 17 days. It is 7:30 on August 14th, and we are about to start our long journey. I got a crazy braid in my hair. Probably look like a little boy right now. That's okay. My hair will be off my neck. And yeah, I'm excited. We have 14 miles today, but it's going to be relatively flat. And yeah, day one, here we come. It was a sandy hike in, pretty easy as far as elevation change goes. We went up to 11,300 feet and we are now back below 10,000. And I have never camped this close to a trail ever. I don't love it, but we are in like kind of an established camping area at Rock Creek. There's a bear box here. The good news is our packs today were the heaviest that they will be for this entire trip. So I'm thrilled about that. And it is starting to rain, so we might go in the tent. Okay, so what do you think of day one?
So far it's good. We're something like 13 miles in. We're at camp. We made it here by I think 2:30. And we're camping way close to the trail and in an area where there's spots for like 20 other tents. It'll be interesting to see how many other people show up. So far there's a couple of people down further down, and a couple parties that are going through, but no one else is here, and hopefully it stays pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Day 2 was a shorter day. We started from Rock Creek and we hiked into Crabtree Ranger Station. It was basically setting up for our staging point for doing Mount Whitney the following day.
First views of Mount Whitney. Can you see it if I point?
It's over off your right elbow, other elbow. Turn the other direction. It's off your left side, sorry.
So if I do this, you don't see it there?
It's on your left elbow.
Like that?
Nice.
We found a campsite at Crabtree. Our day was only a little bit over 7 miles, so a very short day. We got here, before 10:30 or around 10:30? But that's okay because our bodies hurt a little bit. I don't feel too bad right now, but it's nice to get a nice and easy Relax time. Tomorrow we are headed up Mount Whitney, which for those of you that do not know is the highest point in the contiguous United States at 14,505 feet, I believe. So it's gonna be a big day, and it's also, I think, gonna be around 15 miles. The nice thing is we don't have to do it with a pack on our back, or we won't have to do it with much in our packs. Gonna make dinner at 12:45 p.m. I pooped in a toilet that was open air, in a pit toilet.
So Crabtree Ranger Station is awesome because it has this really cool pit toilet where it's just a toilet seat in the middle of the meadow, kind of looking out over an overlook, and you get to do your business while staring off into the wilderness. There is a little bit of a privacy screen, but it shows like down to your lower back, so you're not getting a ton of privacy.
I mean, there's a trail that goes right to it from the camping, so if anybody walks up, they can almost see everything.
We woke up at about 4:30 and we were on the trail just after 5. We headed up past Guitar Lake and up towards Whitney.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun.
The past 2 nights we've been rained on and lightning and thunderstorms, so we want to get up there as quickly as possible. And the light is finally out, the sun is coming up, and it is gorgeous. Oh my god.
Looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right.
We are going up the switchbacks to Mount Whitney. The air is really thin, having a hard time breathing. We are at about 12.5 right now. So far so good, having a hard time breathing, but I'm not nauseous and I don't have a headache yet, so that's a good sign. Yeah, it's really nice to be doing this early in the morning. No sun, trying to stay hydrated. We haven't needed any breaks yet. My brain is moving a little slow, processing things a little slow.
Hear the crickets, see the moon. Side by side and through. No limit to what we can do. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life.
The switchbacks up Mount Whitney, at least on the that west side there, are super gradual, so much easier than it could have been for climbing the tallest mountain in the contiguous US.
We are used to the Wasatch where everything is pretty much straight up, so having really well built, not that steep switchbacks was really nice and made things go really quickly getting up to the summit of Whitney.
Even in the hard times, you and I can weather any storm.
What's today, the
16th.
Carson said he should have waited to propose to me on top of Mount Whitney, but I told him there's no way he would have gotten a ring on my finger because my hands are so swollen. We have made it to the top of Mount Whitney. I feel really good. We both feel really good. No headaches, no stomach issues or nausea. It took us about 4 hours to get up here from Crabtree, from around the Crabtree Ranger Station, and a little over 4,000 feet of gain. It was easier than Grand Teton. A lot of switchbacks, 7.5 miles to get here from where we were, but it wasn't very steep. It's just dealing with the altitude is all. So, just a little hard to breathe. And the connection between my brain and my feet is not as great as it usually is. All right, I'm ready to head down. Remember a few days ago we were like, we're gonna be on top of that mountain.
Yeah.
Already starting to build up. It's only 9:30 in the morning.
All the way around here. And then down this, down to here. All right, we're back down at Timberline Lake. Earlier this morning, we went up here, up to Guitar, all the way across, then up this slope, all the way along this ridge, up to Whitney, somewhere up there. And then we came all the way back down the slope, across to Guitar Lake, down to here. We've got maybe 2 more miles to go in the day.
We got back to camp pretty early in the day. I think it was probably around noon or something like that. But we didn't have that much time to hang out because the thunderstorms rolled in.
All right, so that was exciting. Amy pulled her, we realized it was getting a little bit wet out there, and so Amy pulled her backpack into the tent, and like 2 seconds after she did, a stream of water starts running at the tent from her side, which is the uphill side. So we hopped out and realized that there was a lot more water on the ground than we thought. And where we were was in a little depression. And the rainstorm yesterday didn't do anything. We didn't worry about it at all. We stayed totally dry there. Like the ground didn't even get wet. That area is about 4 feet behind us now and is about 3 inches deep in water. We got out, realized we needed to moved the tent about 6 feet, and we're sitting in here. I got soaked, and
Carson helped somebody else who was in a puddle and got completely soaked.
yeah.
And here we are. It is still raining. I'm hoping it ends soon. We're at least pretty dry.
There's small rivers running like 6 inches off the head of our bed, and our foot is like a foot out of the puddle. So there's not much else we can do if it starts getting worse.
JMT day 3.
Woo! A couple of hours later, the storm stopped, and everyone kind of came out and started drying their stuff. And we got really lucky that we stayed pretty much entirely dry, where a lot of camps, I think, got pretty soaked that day.
It was an eventful night. It is day 4, feeling pretty good, except for a weird pinch in my back. This morning, I couldn't bend at the waist at all. Doing a little bit better now. But other than that, my feet and my muscles feel really good. So I feel good about that. And what about you, Carson? Do you feel good?
Feeling pretty good, yeah. I think we're on track. So
Yeah.
surprising.
Oh, also, we are on the JMT. The first 2 days, we were not on the JMT. So I guess technically today is day 4 of our trip, but day 2 on the JMT. And the plan is to make it to the south side of Forester Pass. If the sky looks good, we might go over it, but because of the rain we've been getting every single night, I kind of doubt it. But we will see. I think we have a little under 13 miles to go, so not a crazy day. Bighorn Plateau is probably people's first view of Whitney when they're going SOBO. Or one of the first views. Made it to Bighorn Plateau. That is Forester Pass, and it looks gnarly from here. But it's not very far away, and supposedly it's only 600 feet up. I don't know. Can't imagine that there's a trail in there, but apparently there is. Yeah, Forester Pass looked impossible from the bottom.
Looking at it, I was thinking, this is a route that I would rock climb. We couldn't figure out where the switchbacks were. We knew that they were there, but you can't see them from down below.
We are at the south side camp. We do need a little bit of a break. I started charging up because the rain is catching up to us. And it kind of sucks because it starts coming in at noon?
Yeah.
1:30 every day, and so it's kind of limiting us on how many miles we could do. We are not sure if we're gonna make it tonight because the clouds are kind of gnarly, which is okay. Our original plan was actually to camp here for tonight. What time is it? It's like 2 o'clock, and so the day's not over. There's still so much daylight left. It's just I don't want to get struck by lightning on top of Forester Pass.
After sitting there for 20 minutes, we saw a hole developing in the weather and saw a hole in the clouds and figured it was going to be at about the right spot to be over us while we were going over Forester.
And we decided, well, we either go right now or we might not be able to go at all. So we just decided to go for it. All right, we're going for it. The marmot that's been watching us is sad that we're leaving because he won't get a chance at our packs, but we're going up.
Yeah.
You see that? You see the rock work and the switchbacks?
Yep.
God, we're almost there. That took like no time at all. When we got to the top of Forester, I definitely hit a high. It was blue skies on the other side. The pass was just super cool. Yeah. Popped over Forester Pass real quick. It's a lot quicker than we thought. Super cool. One of the highlights of our trip so far. Today has been a day of highs and lows, and that was definitely high. And we're still riding it, so we have a little ways down. And we're gonna find camp. The clouds are coming in again. It was actually blue skies when we popped over, but it's chasing us, so we're gonna keep going. There's the tree line, way down there. We have found camp at a unnamed lake on the north side of Forester Pass. We did about almost 17 miles today, I think. Gorgeous spot. I mean, incredible. We had dinner and it's actually pretty warm. I think we're still above 11,000 feet. And of course, the storm has rolled in like it has every night. So night 4 and more rain. Nights 1 through 4. Yeah, good day. We're ahead of our itinerary. My feet are sore. Apparently I have a blister. Is the sun coming out? I think the sun is coming out. Anyways, yeah, lots happened today.
We camped a couple hundred feet uphill from an alpine lake at around 11,300 feet and just sat there with the most amazing, gorgeous sunset views overlooking this lake. I think it was one of my favorite sites on the whole of the JMT.
It was by far my favorite campsite that we had on the entire JMT. Today, all morning we've been going down, down, down. Apparently we're going all the way down to 9,500 feet, which actually kind of sucks because then we have to go straight back up to almost 12,000 to go over Glen Pass. We will see what the day has in store because each day we just like never know what happens at the end of it. We are planning on getting to Rae Lakes and meeting my friend Tabitha. Came from all the way in there.
Heading up that way to Glen Pass. We head up there, across to Glen Pass up there.
Made it to the top of Glen Pass. That was a lot tougher than Forester Pass for us going NOBO. Starting to rain. We are gonna head downhill and hopefully make it to Rae Lakes. There is thunder in the distance, so we will see what happens today. It's only 12:30. Never know. We've made it down off Glen and have made it to Rae Lakes. This is Upper Rae Lake behind me. This area has been on my adventure wish list for I think about 4 years now, and here I am seeing it while doing the JMT. It is raining on us and we hear thunder in the distance, but luckily we are finally back down into tree line and we might be setting up camp kind of soon, even though it's not even 2 p.m. But we'll see. Packing really fast because I want to go. It's raining. We are between Upper and Middle Rae Lakes and we are hunkering down next to a tree because it is pouring.
Yeah, it's starting to come down. It's actually a little bit lighter than it was 3 minutes ago. And we see behind us, we see some breaks in the clouds that we're hoping are, fingers crossed, going to be a rain break, but who knows? Maybe we're setting up camp soon, or maybe it'll clear up and we'll have another couple hours.
Yeah, we kind of want to push on. We don't want to stop.
Yeah, it's too early. It's like 1:30.
Yeah.
I want to keep going, but maybe the weather will stop us. We'll see. If it were warmer out, this is where we'd swim. While we were cooking dinner at Lower Rae Lake, the ranger came by and mentioned that there was a mother bear and her 2 cubs, and that they were running around the lake, and that if we saw them, that we should scare them off and try to make them afraid of humans. Not 10 minutes later, we saw the mom and the 2 cubs running on the other side of the lake.
So I ended up walking down the trail a little ways, and I saw the mama bear and 2 cubs again. Carson was not with me. I went by myself, and they were across the meadow, and so it was a little bit closer, but still definitely far away enough that I felt comfortable. And then not a minute after that, I found Tabitha, and she provided us with some candy and some entertainment for the night. We actually went to bed after the sun went down, and I think that was the first night that we actually did that. It is the morning of day 6. We are leaving Rae Lakes and leaving my friend Tabitha. Thanks again, Tabitha. Yeah, we have a big day ahead of us. We need to make it over Pinchot Pass, probably before 1 p.m., which is when the storms have been starting. Yeah, gotta keep going, one foot in front of the other. Feeling okay this morning. Got a lot of downhill, all the way to 8,500 feet. And then back up to 12. All right, ready? Dollar Lake. I wonder why it's called Dollar Lake. Such a nice bridge, isn't it?
It's weird when it comes in and kicks you.
Yeah, it does.
That's fun.
So we are headed up towards Pinchot Pass, and this has proved to be the most brutal day yet. I don't know if it's because we went down like 2,500 feet and now we're going back up 2,500 feet, or if we're just tired from the previous days. It's downhill from there until we have to go back up.
Something about heading up Pinchot is just long. It's a long, tiring slog.
I'm pretty sure I could say that day 6 was the hardest day for me. Actually, probably for both of us. Why are we doing this? The barrier is not physical, it's mental. Unless you don't feel pain. But I feel pain.
Clouds are slowly coming over us. We're almost to Pinchot Pass, and then it's just downhill on the other side. So we got like 15 more minutes. Give me something.
Woohoo! Oh my god. I thought I was a badass until I backpacked from Rae Lakes to the top of Pinchot Pass, and the day's not even over yet.
Right after we went over Pinchot, it started raining. This was probably the worst rainstorm that we were caught in while hiking.
We knew it was not safe to be up there, and from the top of Pinchot we were able to see the tree line, and it was not very close. We are hunkered down next to a tree coming down Pinchot Pass. It started raining on us. We actually wanted to take a break up there, but knew it'd be stupid to hang out up there. We were kind of waiting for a break in the rain, hoping it lets up soon. We've gotten a little wet.
We'd sprint 200 or 300 feet down the hill and try to find another tree to hide behind, and we spent about 2 hours working our way slowly down from Pinchot Pass.
We have found a stand of trees. We've been going from tree to tree trying to find shelter, and finally we're getting into more densely treed area. We found a spot, still getting sprinkled on, but it is coming down out there, so kind of just need to rest our feet a little bit. And then either once this passes or we decide we're going to make a break for it again, we're going to head down further below, more below tree line, because it's kind of exposed up here. Today has been a day. Today, I hope this is the hardest day. So far it is the hardest day. This is way harder than our Mount Whitney day. Our Mount Whitney day was a piece of cake. Okay. I think I'm done. Are you still recording? What do you have to say?
Nada. Unfortunately, in that thicket of trees, there was a bunch of sap, and so we kind of got covered. I lucked out, and I only had a couple spots, but Amy got sap kind of all over herself.
Apparently I sat in it, and so it got on the butt of my shorts and ended up all over my fingers. Yeah, sap incident of 2020. And there we go, blue skies on the other end. That is a good idea.
We headed down and camped right at the intersection with the Kings River.
Bunch of mules.
That night at camp, we saw a mule team crossing the river right before we decided to camp, and we saw them kind of going upstream, and it was cool seeing them crossing the river. And then in the middle of the night, we hear this whinnying, and it was clear that a mule had gotten separated from the back train. And while we're sitting there, we hear it getting a little closer and closer, and all of a sudden it runs right next to our tent. Yeah, the next morning we woke up and there were horse prints, 3 feet away from the tent.
And I remember just squeezing Carson's hand. There just wasn't anything that I felt we could do. Okay, let's see what today brings us. Today's day 7. We are feeling refreshed after a night of sleep, but today's going to be a long day. Our plan is to go up Muir Pass, drop all the way down to the valley floor on the other side, and then maybe start up Muir Pass a little bit. As far as the elevation gain goes, it's going to be an easier day, but to make the day tomorrow easier, we kind of want to go as long as we can, so we'll definitely be pushing probably a 17 plus mile day. So got an early start. It's pretty cold and pretty hazy. All right, we're gonna get going.
Waking up on day 7, we got our first real smoke, and it kind of hung around all day and cut out a lot of our views.
just looking behind us, it was so eerie. I mean, you couldn't see anything. Don't know where it's coming from, but gotta move one direction. Almost up to Muir Pass. It's been a nice, gentle grade so far, but we are pretty high, so breathing is a little tough, especially with the smoke. Top of Muir Pass, what do you think? Easiest pass so far?
Yeah, coming up from the valley was awesome. Super fast, super easy. Felt really good. We hit the right below the pass and a few switchbacks, but nothing too bad. Yeah, feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's the easiest pass we've done so far.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Pretty chill.
Easiest 12,000 feet I've ever done.
Yeah. Well, we might have a better view if it wasn't so smoky. If I have any mistake on the trail, it would be passing up swimming at Lower Palisade Lake.
It was just this perfect decomposed granite lake bed and just gorgeous blue water. So if I were to do it again, I would make sure to stop at Lower Palisade Lake and take a swim.
We are taking a long break before we head up towards Muir Pass. Originally, I wanted to camp here at the junction, but the further up we get up Muir Pass, the easier tomorrow will be because it's going to be all uphill. So today might end up being close to or a 20-mile day. My feet hurt. Where are you, bear? Snow grass and grass meadows.
Every campsite that we saw, we just kept seeing more people and more people. I want to say we didn't find a campsite until almost 8.
Made dinner really fast and got into bed. Last night we ended up doing almost 22 miles. My feet were aching. We got into camp kind of late, right before sunset, so hurried up, made camp, had dinner, and then got in the tent. And hopefully, because we did that, today will be a little bit easier. And now we are gonna start heading up towards Muir Pass. This morning, I think we have about 6 miles. Day 8. Should I already be dead?
Yes.
Shout out to my mom and my sister who like the Cascades. This one's for you. Still smoky, still a little bit smoky, but not nearly as bad as yesterday. Made it to the top of Muir Pass. It was not nearly as bad as I thought, and I actually think it's my favorite or second favorite pass going up from the south going northbound. It was gorgeous in there. And now behind me we have Wanda Lake, and we're kind of gonna stop at whatever lake looks really nice for swimming at. There's Sapphire Lake. Gorgeous. Evolution Basin. I said that weird. I believe we have found our campsite. This place place is incredible. Oh my God. An awesome creek that we're gonna be able to lay in. Look at this. And we're gonna have it all to ourselves. Yep. Okay, so we found the perfect spot next to a creek, and we've been here for what, like 4 hours?
3, 4.
I think it's been 4 hours. We thought we were gonna camp here. We rinsed out all of our clothes. We got to take a full dip in the creek, laid around on a nice hot rock, walked around barefoot, let our feet dry out, and now it's 5 something. And we're like, you know what? We could get a few more miles in. And we wanted a nice campsite tonight, but I feel like we got the full benefit of what we wanted to here, and now we are just gonna move on a little bit. We had dinner. Yeah, so it should be easy. We could just get to camp, you know, right at sundown if we want, and we feel refreshed. It was already a 10-mile day, and somehow it felt like we did nothing all day, and now we're gonna go even further. Spot is gorgeous too, by the way, but we soaked it in, we hung out. Yeah.
Evolution Basin is one of the most memorable parts of the JMT for me. That valley is amazingly gorgeous, and everywhere you look there's just a new view of these amazing alpine rocks and alpine peaks, interspersed with phenomenal lakes.
Evolution Basin was my favorite area, like favorite part of the entire trail, and I'm really glad that we took 4 hours to just soak it in and really enjoy it.
It was one of the most pleasant places, and that whole area is just gorgeous.
Wow. There's Evolution Lake. Today is day 9. We have the Evolution Creek crossing ahead of us. You'll see what that's like. I hear it's pretty low this year though. And then we are gonna get to MTR, which is Muir Trail Ranch, our first resupply point. We weren't supposed to get there until tomorrow, but we're definitely getting there today. We clear Meadows this morning. It's gorgeous. To Muir Trail Ranch. So close.
Getting to MTR, we were at day 9. We'd been carrying all of our food so far, and MTR is our chance to get more food. It was our chance to resupply. So we sent in a bucket, literally mailed them a Home Depot 5-gallon bucket full of more food.
Just picked up our resupply from MTR, and our packs are heavier again. They were super nice, but I don't think they want us hanging around, so we gotta get moving. I think it ended up being, what was it, 12.5 miles to here? So probably gonna go a few more miles just to get to a camp spot. And yeah, we are ahead of schedule though, so that's cool, except my feet are definitely feeling it. What do you think?
We brought way too much food.
Yes. I plan for, I think, about 2,600 calories on average for every day, and we can't eat it. So it's like, even though we're in a calorie deficit and we should be eating that many calories, it's like you're only gonna eat what you're gonna eat. So it is what it is. Probably gonna lose a couple pounds. made it to Sally Keys Lake, and honestly, going northbound from MTR is kind of a pain in the ass. It was pretty steep, a lot of switchbacks, but we just added it up, and apparently we did like almost an 18-mile day, so that feels really good. No wonder my feet hurt. We have extra food, but we're getting so hungry. I ate a bunch of food like, an hour or two ago, and I'm like hungry now. My energy was dipping, so our bodies are definitely asking for the calories now, so we'll probably eat that up real quick. Yeah, we found a nice little spot, and that was day 9. Tonight we had Mountain House chicken and mashed potatoes, and now we're gonna have some miso soup, and I'm so happy I brought it because I'm hungry tonight. For dinner that night, I had dinner and miso soup, and I think some snacks, and I was still hungry. It was a hunger turning point for me. Day 10, woke up to a little bit of smoke today, and also my feet are a little swollen, but we are almost a day ahead of schedule, so we should really learn to relax and hang out, probably at the hottest part of the day, because now that we don't have rain, it is blazing hot. So yeah, we'll see how far we go today, maybe around 15 miles, but whatever we plan at the beginning of the day never ends up what happens at the end of the day, so we will see. Just got over Selden Pass. Since we started upwards last night, I think this is our easiest pass yet. Also, this is definitely my favorite view over a pass. It's incredible. And now we go back down, and then we go back up. Selden Pass was my favorite pass because not only was it very easy to get over going northbound, but the view of Rae Lake was incredible.
So yeah, Selden Pass was a highlight of the trip for sure.
Soaking my feet in Rae Lakes, trying to get the inflammation down. Also, this is just an amazing spot. Also having peanut butter and graham crackers, which I am craving right now. I don't seem to want any of my sweet stuff. I seem to want good fat and calories. Hi.
Hi.
Good thing we didn't plan on going to VVR anyway. The plan was to camp at the junction where the bridge is to VVR.
Instead, we sat out a thunderstorm that lasted for about an hour, and then continued up up towards the next pass.
Camp for the night. We have found camp, we've had dinner, and we are now having dessert. I'm having sour punch straws. Put these in my MTR resupply. So apparently we ended up doing about 18 miles today.
Yeah.
That wasn't the plan, but it's just what happened.
We found a really cool site right next to like a water slide that's really nice.
Mono Creek.
And we got rid of we have a 3,000 foot climb up to Silver Pass, and we got rid of some of that elevation. So I think we've only got like 2,000 left. So nice kickstart for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then 2 days we'll be in at Red's Meadow.
Yeah. Ready for a burger and beer and soda.
Yeah.
Today is day 11. We have a bit of a climb to get up to Silver Pass. Yeah, I don't know how far we're gonna go today. We keep going further than we plan. The further we get, the closer we are to Reds, because tomorrow we should get to Reds. So, wait, really? Tomorrow we get to Reds? Woohoo! I just want a burger. I keep waking up hungry, like really hungry, which, yeah, my body wants calories, so food sounds really good. All right, let's get going. Let's do our climb. We are headed up Silver Pass, and man, it is smoky out here. You can smell it. We're definitely breathing it in. Probably not the best thing for us, but we gotta keep going. So yeah, we're getting close.
Silver Pass is right up there.
Made it over Silver Pass, and now we are headed down into the smoke-filled valley. Not the hardest pass, not the easiest pass, but not the hardest pass. Yeah, and it's what, not even 9:30, and clouds are already starting to gather and build. So we are expecting another storm today. Probably rain around noon. So we are gonna get going. So for family that doesn't know, this is how we get our water. We have that water reservoir which we connect our filter to, and then it filters our water right into our bottles. And luckily on this trail, there is so much water here that most of the time we're only carrying 1 liter. 1 liter is 2.2 pounds. So the more you carry, definitely starts to get heavy.
We had access to water every couple of miles, and for the vast majority of it, we carried only a liter at a time.
There were only a couple sections where we carried a full 2 liters each.
We just passed the turnoff to Muir Pass. Heading up still.
We have made it to the Duck Lake outlet, and from here there is no water for a little over 5 miles, and so our options are to either camp at least 300 feet from the outlet or to continue on for a little over 5 miles, which will make it a 21-mile day. And I think that's what we're gonna do because it's only 3:30, so we have plenty of daylight left. So taking a little break for my feet, and then we are gonna continue on with our long day. We have made it to Deer Creek on night 11. We did about 21 miles today. Just had dinner. Freeze-dried Mountain House chili mac with beef. I am in a little bit of pain. My feet hurt. My toe joints hurt. But tomorrow we have only like a 6.5 mile hike all downhill to Red's Meadow Resort. What about you? How do you feel?
I feel pretty good. My feet are definitely tired, but I think that's to be expected after 20-something miles.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Reds and like a real meal. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Kind of have a forced low mileage day, which will be good.
Yeah, that'll be good for us because apparently we don't know how to pace ourselves.
Yeah.
We are a day and a half ahead of schedule, so that is just not necessary. All right, good night. It is the cold morning of day 12, and we are gonna make it to Reds this morning, or at least before noon, and it's all downhill. And I think it's pretty gradual downhill, so should be pretty quick.
How you feeling?
My feet hurt, but they're refreshed this morning. I'm feeling excited for food and hopefully a shower. How are you feeling?
I'm definitely excited for a shower.
Yeah.
It'll be very nice. And maybe washing some clothes.
Yeah.
We've done pretty well with the stream so far, but you can only get so much done in a stream.
Yeah.
So we woke up a little bit early and we hiked rather quickly. I think we averaged like 3.2 miles an hour.
And I booked it so I can get some pancakes. Here we are. Turn off the JMT for Reds Meadow. Some guy just handed this to me. Just like, was like, do you want this? And I was like, yeah. It is 9 a.m. though. That looks so good. Let's see what I got. Oh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yep.
So for 12 days straight, I've had my hair in a braid pinned with bobby pins at the back of my head. And I'm about to take them out and see what happens. So gross. I was feeling a bit restless. It felt weird to sit down for so long after always being on the move. But I think it was a really nice break for my feet. And I think it was good that we were kind of forced into it since our resupply wasn't coming until the next day.
It was really nice to take a break, even though there was a part of me that wanted to keep going.
So apparently there was a vacancy in one of the hiker cabins, and we decided to go for it. It was only $100 for 2 people with 2 free showers, so nothing crazy. We probably spent more money on food. Yeah, so we are hopefully gonna have a better night's sleep, or I am at least, because we will be on like kind of a mattress. So good night, and I will see you guys when I'm refreshed in the morning.
My parents actually met us for a resupply around 10:30 in the morning. It was really nice. They were able to bring in our bucket of food and replenish our supplies.
We ended up being able to leave the Darlings with one of our bear cans, which meant for the next 4 days we only had to carry 1. Shout out to Marianne Hazel, who let me borrow her barricade expedition. That thing has a lot of capacity, plenty of room to fit food for 4 days for 2 people.
From Reds, we did decide to take a quick detour off the JMT. So we went through the Devil's Post Pile. It's about a mile and a half off of the JMT. I think it's basalt.
Like basalt columns?
Yeah.
This morning we woke up refreshed. We got our free shower, got breakfast burritos. I'm trying to breathe. Met up with Carson's parents and they gave us our resupply and we're able to give them some things. Got a late start to the day. Our plan is to do about 13 miles. Don't know if we're gonna end up being able to do it because it is now 1 o'clock and we've been going up a steep hill in the middle of the day. So yeah, it's a little bit slow going, but we will see where we end up today. If we don't end up at our mark at Garnet Lake, that's okay, because tomorrow could be longer. And yeah, so we're planning, right, how many days? Today, tomorrow to Ireland Creek, 3rd day to Clouds Rest Junction, and then 6 miles out, so 4 more days, including today. Look at some of these steps. That is a straight up like deep pistol squat. Well, I'm going uphill, so I'm out of breath, but I want to give a shout out to Mark, who saw me on the trail. We went past him and he was like, "Are you Amy?" And he said he's a fan of my channel and that he found me through Bryce's channel. Yeah, so that was really cool. I think that's the very first time I've ever seen someone on the trail or somebody's said something to me because of YouTube. I've had people from Instagram, but yeah, super cool experience to meet people out on the trail who see my videos. I hope that the rest of your hike went really well. You know, hopefully no smoke. I don't know what it'll be like the next couple days, but hopefully as gorgeous as it is today. We have made it to Garnet Lake. Sorry, it's windy, so I don't know how the audio is. And there's this nice laminated sign. We are gonna go past this peninsula at a camp, so we are legal camping, and going to make sure that our camp is at least 40 steps from water. Today is day 14. We are about to leave Garnet Lake. It was a little bit of a climb to get down here last night to find a legal spot, but it is a gorgeous lake, a notable spot on the JMT, in my opinion. And today we are gonna go over Donohue Pass and camp at Ireland Creek. I believe it's about 15 or 16 miles from here, and not a ton of gain. I think most of our gain is going over Donohue. Most of it is downhill or pretty flat. So a little bit of an easier day compared to some of our other ones. But we can't go much further because of the camping restrictions. You cannot camp more than or closer than 4 miles from Tuolumne. So that's about one of the last spots you can camp. So that's where we will end up. I need to not kill myself getting out of here. Last few days. Don't want to end the trip like this. Thousand Island Lake. This has been on my list for many years. Here I am. Going up towards Island Pass. Made it to the top of Donohue Pass. If you are gonna go northbound on the Muir Trail, do not underestimate Donohue Pass. It definitely was not the hardest pass, but it was also not the easiest.
The summit of Donohue is the entrance point to the Yosemite wilderness. From there on out, the rest of the trail is in Yosemite for us.
We saw a coyote in one of the meadows, and he was pouncing in the grasses, so that was pretty cool to see.
Hiking along Tyndall Creek was really cool. The trail borders this massive series of meadows, so the entire time you're just looking out at these really cool grass meadows.
It was very beautiful, and definitely some of the, or probably the flattest section on the entire JMT. We found camp near Ireland Creek. Today was approximately 15 to 16 miles total. Tomorrow is going to be a big day. It's going to be over 21 miles. But then the day after that is our day out. So, yeah. The night at Ireland Creek was my least favorite night. Last night we had a group of 3 camp, like, 30 feet away?
Yeah.
Which is, like it kind of sucked because it's a pretty quiet area. But we're like, okay, whatever. So at like 4:30 this morning, they start packing up camp. And so they woke us up, which is fine. I mean, at Crabtree, we had people waking up to go to Whitney at 5:30 in the morning. What can you do? You're going to make a little noise, right? Okay. It became not normal noise. They started flapping out their tent fly. And I mean, also, again, this is 4:30 in the morning. Flapping it as loud as they could. They're 30 feet away from us. And then they stop flapping out the tent fly and they take down the tent. And now they're flapping out the tent wild and crazy. And so I yelled something out of the tent. And then after that, they were pretty quiet. So I'm glad I said something. They knew we were here. There's no way that they pulled up and were 30 feet from us and didn't see we were here. I don't know. It was just super inconsiderate, over the top. Again, I expect if people are going to pack up and wake up early, that's fine. You might make some noise, but we were wide awake because of how much noise they were making. Wake up that early if you need to, but come on, people. Come on. So last night was not the best night. But at least we didn't have a horse running through and whinnying 10 feet from our tent, so it wasn't scary. It was just loud. Day 15, we planned for it to be a long one. We planned to pack up from Ireland Creek, go past Tuolumne, and then camp at the junction to Cloud's Rest. So going down towards Tuolumne, it is a very flat trail, and we are kind of right alongside these meadows, which is pretty cool. It's really easy going, really fast hiking. We've got a long day. Apparently it's going to be 23 miles. So I'm glad that it is flat for now. Carson and I have actually been to the top of that because we rock climbed it last year. This year we are just walking by it, but it's a pretty cool view. It is kind of hazy out here, but still pretty cool. Right now we can see Cloud's Rest. We are not going to do that on this trip. The JMT does not go on top of it, but it is a popular detour because it is amazing. I did the day hike last year, and it is my favorite hike in the park. And also, now, since it's super smoky and hazy, I'm especially not too sad to not do it. I'll do it again for another year. And also, we should be less than 3 miles from camp, and it'll be like a 22-ish mile day. But we have also been walking through a burn area for a while, and so I'm really hoping that the camping area is not in a burn area, because if it is, we will probably press on and go to the little Yosemite Valley campground. I'm just not down to camp with in a snag forest. Just not down. Yeah. Bye-bye. So we're still continuing into the burn area and going down, and there are these plants that are really overgrown on the trail, and they are pokey and sharp, and you have to walk through them. I'm wearing shorts, Carson's wearing shorts. I probably wouldn't switch into pants, but I don't have any pants anyway because I got rid of them at Red's. So we are just getting a little scratched up. Not the worst thing in the world, but not the most fun. Getting close. Yeah. I don't remember why we decided to keep going and not camp where we planned, but for some reason we decided to make it all the way to the Little Yosemite Valley campground.
By far the busiest campground for us on the entire JMT.
Day 16, last day, less than 4.5 miles. So last night we stayed at the Little Yosemite Valley Backpackers Campground, and there were composting pit toilets, solar composting pit toilets, and it's just kind of like a free-for-all. Like, you just kind of camp in the camp boundary next to a bunch of other people, and we are back on the JMT. Muir Trail in 14 days and a total trip in 16 days. 240-ish miles. We will find out later. That's it. That's it. We're done.
At the end of the JMT, I was definitely tired, but it felt really good to have finished in fairly good style.
It felt very anticlimactic. It wasn't about getting to the end. It was about the journey to get there.
My parents were able to meet us at the end of the trail and pick us up. And to top it off, on the drive out from Yosemite, we saw a bear run across the road, and for our fourth bear of the trip. Yeah, I mean, I feel incredibly lucky to have been able to take the time to get out on the JMT and get to experience that section of the Sierras and see all that it has to offer. I would love to go and spend more time there and check out some of the rock climbing, maybe do a technical ascent up Whitney. But yeah, we are super lucky that we had the support of both Amy's and my family. And yeah, we got to do this amazing, amazing trip.
I feel very lucky to have been able to do this. Not only am I privileged enough to have spent the money and the time to do this, but I am also physically able, and that's just something that I never want to take for granted.
I just have to say thank you to both Amy's and my family. We couldn't have done it without you.